Hello, welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz, and I will be guiding you on this journey today. This is a reading for Sagittarius, wherever Sagittarius shows up for you. We're going to do a 2025 overall vibe check. I'm not going to do like month to month because honestly, I don't remember that shit. So I just kind of want to get like I said, just an overall energy, what's going to be the focus, what can you expect throughout the year type of thing. So, let's see what that was. We have the Chariot, the Queen of Cups, let's see, the Nine of Wands, the Six of Wands, and the Four of Pentacles. And then the Ten of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Let me just make sure everything is in frame. Okay. And of course, if you haven't done so already, I would absolutely love it if you subscribed to my channel. If you have already, thank you. Thank you anyway. I'm glad you're here. So, my eye keeps going to the Queen of Cups. And it's actually kind of funny because in the Gemini video, I think it was Gemini. Was it Gemini? I don't know. I want to say it was Gemini. I can't remember if it was or not. But there was one card that came out. I think it was a Hierophant. And then there were three other cards that came out sideways. And I was saying in that reading how it felt like, the Hierophant was the like main subject. And then there was like these three branches that were coming off of it, like when you're brainstorming, or I don't know what that's called. I think it's brainstorming where there's one central point and then you have all these branches that like come off of it. That's how this feels too. Like the my eye just keeps going to this Queen of Cups, and it's almost like there's these other aspects around her that are either like going to be your focus, or of course, it's just going to be like, it could even just be different areas of your life too. And even just her body language. Like her eyes are closed, hands are up. It feels very surrendery, accepting, right? It's like I am whatever comes towards me, whatever happens in my life, whatever happens in the day, whatever happens in the week, whatever, right? It's like I can handle it. And not only can I handle it, but I have the tools, I have the knowledge, I have the emotional capacity to almost even like handle it with ease. Because for me, like queens are when we embody the energy of the suit ourselves, right? Like we recognize the energy within ourselves. We learn to work with it. We learn to master it. Cups have to do with our emotions, right? Like, and our relationship to love. And, like self-care, self-love, making sure that your cup is full before anybody else's cup is full, right? Like, because truly you cannot pour from an empty cup. So it definitely does like feel very individual. And then we have the Chariot on one side, which is Cancer. And that's like the card of being divinely guided. It's also fast moving, right? But again, even in this depiction or whatever of the Chariot card, this person isn't controlling these horses, right? They're barely even holding on. But they're trusting the path that they're being guided to be on. Because again, like there's nothing attached to these horses except for, I'm assuming, the Chariot itself. But everything is moving in the same direction. Everything is moving very fast too. And then there's this person up here that's just chilling. It's a lot of like trusting yourself, right? Like trusting your body, being, very like conditioned, or some type of training Because no regular person is just going to get up there and like not even hold on. Right? So it's kind of like I've done this a few times, or just again like the conditioning, the training that has been going on for you for however long, you're like, no, I'm more interested in keeping my focus forward. And I'm just kind of curious like where we're even going. Right? Like, because the person, they're not even inside of the chariot. They're on top of it. So it's again like it's giving me this feeling of being like very active in your own experience, but at the same time like allowing yourself to be guided, and very, both of these cards too, the Chariot and the Queen of Cups, are very intuitive, right? Like the Queen of Cups is literally, I mean, they are plugging in to their intuition. That's why their eyes are closed, and their body language is as it is. Like there's this level of trust. There's this, you don't need your eyes to connect to your intuition, right? So that's interesting. This, intuitive guidance that's happening. And I mean, like things can change like really fast too, because if you have like really locked into your intuition and really trust it, then, things really can change fairly quickly for you. And then the Six of Wands is recognition, success, victory. They're literally standing on a stage here. There's, this applause or like hands coming up in the audience. So, I mean, you could be putting yourself out there in some aspect at some point next year. And again, it could be something that you feel divinely guided or intuitively guided to do. And it will pay off. Like you will receive some sort of recognition, some sort of success for that. Whether, that is like literally being on a stage and speaking or singing or, showing up in that aspect. Or it could be, of course, like on social media, just getting up there and sharing the things that you have learned, the path that you've been on, how you did connect to your intuition, or even just sharing the things that you are, intuitively guided to share. And then we have the Four of Pentacles, which the Four of Pentacles talks about saving. It's also too, like it does talk a little bit about holding on to things too tight, because it's almost like the beginning of scarcity and lack, because obviously what comes after the Four of Pentacles is the Five of Pentacles, and that's where it does start talking about scarcity and lack, right? So just, almost even be aware of that. But to me, this has more of a feeling, because she's like separate from, this whole town here. So it could be, of course, just giving yourself time and space away from everything in order to rejuvenate, to make sure that your cup is full. I mean, literally making sure that you have enough for yourself before you start putting anything else out there. I mean, of course, Pentacles do have to do with money, but it also has to do with our literal life force energy, right? Because it also, it's our physical body. So it's your health. And again, like where are you investing your energy, your time? Where are you physically showing up in your life? So there's this almost too like discipline aspect to the Four of Pentacles, budgeting, whether that is like monetarily or whether that is your time, not biting off more than you can chew. Because, and it's like one of those things, like just because you can, and just because maybe you have in the past, doesn't necessarily mean that's what you should continue to do. And also too, like in the past, right? Like again, being able to bite off more than you can chew just because you can, just because you have the energy to do it, you have the capacity, you can, right? But it's recognizing too that what that the place that maybe that was coming from was the beginning stages, or, you know, that created a scarcity or lack mindset. So it's just remembering, right? Again, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Make sure to, you know, that your cup is always full. And again, right, like just that they are separate. They have exactly what they need here in their purse, whatever that is, you know, and there's this separation from the masses, or like the town over here. So again, it really does just have this feeling to me of self-care. I'm curious what this rune is. I haven't memorized all of the runes yet. Othala, is that what it just said? Let's see. Othala, goddess, property, home, plenty. Okay, hold on. Heritage and inheritance. Inheritance, spiritual home, sense of belonging, deep spiritual connection to ancestral property, embodying the culmination of a successful spiritual journey and hard work. Love that. I think it's even interesting that I looked at that. I don't think I've ever specifically focused on that earring. Very interesting. The 9 of Wands is the wounded warrior. It is interesting, though, that we go from the 9 of Wands to the 10 of Wands at the bottom of the deck. I mean, that's still a progression. 9s are individual completion. I almost kind of heard in my head, I just heard in my head, like no longer battling with yourself. Because again, right, the 9 of Wands is the ability to get through challenges. You know, it's somebody who life has maybe kicked their butt a bit, right? But I mean, they're still standing. And also too, you know, I mean, with it being individual completion, right? Like there is some level of completion there, at least, you know, individually. And the message behind the 9 of Wands is like, you're close, right? Like take a break if you need it, but there's like one more step to go, right? But then we have the one more step with the 10 of Wands at the bottom of the deck. So, I mean, there's clearly something that, you know, I mean, you've really persevered through. Like there's something that, you know, you were either maybe consistent with, that you did have a determination and a commitment to, that now you can see the changes that it's made in your life, right? And even with the 10 of Wands at the bottom of the deck, like this person is, they've conquered, you know, this trail or whatever over this mountain, and, or maybe they're deciding not to even take that route, right? Because like I said, like even with the 4 of Pentacles, like just because you can doesn't mean you should, right? And maybe, you know, taking the path less traveled, or, you know, whatever, just because it's lit up, like maybe in the past you would have gone this way because you would have been like, you know, hard work really pays off, right? Like there's got to be something amazing at the other side of this mountain just because of the journey, right? But this person is like, they're not even looking in that direction. They're like, you know what, I actually don't need to go that way to achieve the same thing. And it could just be like because of the experiences that you've had thus far, because they have their 10 wands with them, right? It's like all of the experience, all of the things that you have picked up along the way. You're like, you know, I feel like I've already been on that journey, and I don't need it. I'm just gonna keep, you know, going the way that I was going, and we'll see what happens there. And also too, I mean, that could be very like intuitively guided too. Beautiful. All right. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I will talk to you soon. Bye.